My brother Deji Adeyanju, he won't go APC. They take style, they support Tinubu government. But he no fit come out openly to say, oh, I don't go APC or I'm supporting Tinubu government. They use legbegbe, like Remokre. Remokre started by fighting Obi, later he just crossed him. Ogbori wole. They use the same style. He one day use legbegbe to enter. Mr. Deji Adeyanju enter direct. Stop using Obi to make cheap points, to score cheap points, man. Come on, if you're going to APC, go freely. Leave that man alone. What has he done to you? He hasn't done anything. You want to go to APC, you don't know how you will do it. Because Shøçkiñg will be disappointed, your brother. So you don't know the style. He said if Obi is on the ballot, I will vote Tinubu. You think, say, we don't know who you they support before. I beg, crossing. Stop using leg back. Deji, cross center. Wole.
No longer speaks for Peter Obi because he doesn't think that he has the grit and the firmness to be able to handle issues. Are you still with Peter Obi? Do you hold similar notion, or what do you make of that kind of situation where he thinks what is going on in the Labour Party needed a firm and a very, very strong handling, but he didn't see that that Peter Obi was able to handle that situation the manner in which he did. Are you also disappointed with what is happening in the Labour Party?
Let me say this. What is happening in the Labour Party is, for me, the noise next door. I'm not a member of the Labour Party, and I have labored to make this clear before the election, during the election, and after the election. I have not concerned myself with what is happening in the Labour Party. Kenneth joined the Labour Party, so it was his business what was happening there. It's none of my business, and I've not made it my business. I'm not a politician. I am a citizen of a country that is not yet born, a victim of Nigeria looking to have a better country in the future. Peter Obi is a man that I admire a lot. I don't expect him to dictate what should happen in the Labour Party. When did he join them? The Labour Party is a party. It's not, I believe that if it's a party, to an extent, they would have to find a democratic means of resolving their differences. Peter Obi is not in a position to dictate the terms of their settlement to them, and I don't expect him to. Obviously, Kenneth Okonkwo has a different understanding of what Peter Obi's response should have been. He is a politician, just like Peter Obi is a politician. They are the ones who decide what political tactics works for them as politicians. Me, I'm not a politician. As of today, if there were to be a presidential election, Peter Obi is the person I'll still queue behind, because I believe in his capacity to take Nigeria in a non-violent manner to the revolution that I desire. I wish to see Nigeria turn around, and I don't want to see that happening violently. And I believe that Peter Obi has the mass appeal and the capacity to unite this country behind a vision for a better future. That is the basis. As at today, I don't know what he might do tomorrow that might change my mind. I'm a free agent. It might be that tomorrow he decides to align himself with persons that I do not believe I can work with, people that I believe cannot bring anything good to Nigeria. And on account of that, I might decide, okay, hasta la vista, we can't work together. But as of today, barring any dramatic happenstance, I remain solidly behind Peter Obi, and I will continue to support him into 2027 if he's going to run, and if we have managed to reform our electoral system. Because any election without a reformation of our electoral system, I'm not interested.
Issues with Jide. Here we'll talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our political and national landscape, and how these impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Sheta. Today on the show, Peter Obi, Deji Adeyanju in dirty battle. In the course of the program, we take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. it's important to mention that we can only read comments with human names and the ones based on the subject matter. I have joining me via Zoom the master himself, Babajide Kolade Otutoju. Good to see you, PKO.
Good evening, Brian. Good evening, viewers.
Now let's start with some context. Peter Obi's lawyers issued Deji Adeyanju a 7-day ultimatum to retract what they call false and damaging claims. So I'm not asking for viewers just catching up. What exactly do you think triggered this feud, and why has this so escalated into threats of a courtroom showdown?
Okay. For as far as the lawyers are concerned, for some time now, Deji Adeyanju has been making reckless statements about Peter Obi. He's been accusing him of all kinds of failings. He's called him a fraud. He said all kinds of things. And they just felt that, look, the time had come to put Deji in his place. The time had come to let Deji realize that such negative comments, such slanderous statements he's been making about Peter Obi will no longer be tolerated. But if you ask me, Deji believes that since Peter Obi's supporters have been attacking him, calling him all kinds of names, calling him baby lawyer, Temu lawyer, he just felt that their principal or their hero was fair game. It's similar to what is happening with Reno. Reno has come under consistent attack from Peter Obi's supporters, and you will see that Reno does not spare any opportunity to attack Peter Obi, to present him as somebody who is inadequate for the position of president that he craves. And Adeyanju has called him a fraud, a scum, a religious bigot, and leader of the mob. He calls him leader of the mob because of the way his supporters fiercely back him, virtually on all issues. And he has also called him a fraud. He accused him of stealing Anambra state money to invest the money in a business that he has stakes in a company that he has stakes in. But this is not the first time that Peter Obi will be accused of that. Kaderi Ahmed, a journalist, former editor of Next newspaper, asked him a question related to that when they were preparing for the 2019 election. And Peter Obi said at that time that I was no longer involved in the company. Yes, once you become a governor, for example, you have to step aside from the activities of a company, even if you own the company. But many people will argue that when you invest the funds of a state in a company that you have stakes in, then they can actually accuse you of being involved in a conflict of interest and all that. And there's no other way there's no way to explain that away. The truth is, the company that invested the funds in is a company that his family has stakes in. And for me, SAB Miller / AB InBev was International Brewery's parent company. So it's difficult for Peter Obi to say that he didn't invest the funds of the states in a company that his family has stakes in. Yes, you step aside once you become governor, but people argue that he made that investment with the desire in mind to help the company, to enable the company make some money. So it's a very messy affair, and you know, when you listen to Adeyanju, he's unrestrained. He can be uncouth in his language, but you can understand that in the matter of Peter Obi supporters have riled him, they've called him names. He just believes that the best thing to do is to continue to attack their hero. That is as a way of provoking the obedience and avenging the constant insults that the obedience pour on him. But remember that call that Peter Obi reportedly made to the general overseer of Living Faith Church. He threatened to go to court. He threatened to go to court over that matter. That was the Bishop Oyedepo. He threatened to go to court. But all of the apps that are used to determine whether something is deep fake or not turned in the verdict that Peter Obi was the one speaking in that audio clip, and that call was made by him. It was not fake. And that was the reason, despite his threats to sue the online newspaper that leaked that audio, up to now, Peter Obi has not summoned the courage to go to court. And as long as it doesn't go to court, people will continue to believe that he actually made that call, because he has not really defended himself sufficiently. In fact, he's been silent about that, because he also knew that he could be found out, he could be exposed if he proceeded to court, because all of the verifiable, the tools for verifying whether such a call was fake or not showed clearly that it was Peter Obi that made that call.
Right.
And so Adeyanju continues to call him a religious bigot on account of that. Obi's supporters find this, see this as very, very unsavory, uncalled for. They believe that it's not a religious bigot. But by calling the general overseer of one of the biggest churches in Nigeria and pleading with him to help talk to Christians to vote for him, can be interpreted in different ways. I'm not saying that.
He said it's a religious war.
Yes, he went as far as saying that it's a religious war. So he could, Adeyanju could argue from now till kingdom come that even that statement alone suggested that it was a religious bigot, somebody who would not mind if we had to embark on a religious war just to win an election. And then, of course, remember the matter of the Pandora's box. You know, one thing is clear from there. Peter Obi infringed on the laws of our country by not declaring his assets, including those owned by his children. So if you have offshore accounts, if you have business concerns outside of our country, you have to declare your assets to show that clearly. So, but even at that, I don't think it's right for anyone to call Peter Obi a fraud. Because when you look at him, you compare him to other Nigerian politicians, I think that he tries his best to be above board. But nobody is perfect. And if only God is perfect, and if you try to show that you are perfect, Nigerians will actually dig up some facts to show that they are not perfect. I will tell them to forget about this court case, because given the whimsical nature of justice delivery in our country, nobody knows when exactly this case will come to an end. And I can tell you that Peter Obi will be the bigger loser in this battle against Adeyanju. Adeyanju really has nothing to lose, but Peter Obi has a lot to lose. He wants to contest the presidency. He sees himself as better than others in the race, and this is coming. This is coming at such a critical time when the opposition is trying to find his feet. So I don't think that Peter Obi should have thought about going to court. They should simply have ignored this fellow. And that was the same advice that I gave Nyesom Wike when Nyesom Wike was attacking, responding to attacks by Deji Adeyanju. I said, look, you have to act your age. Why should you get involved in a verbal war with someone like Deji Adeyanju? You know, you should just, it's much younger. You should have left him alone. It's not every war that is desirable. For some wars, at the end of the day, you get your fingers burnt. You can win the battle, and you can win the battle and not win the war. So what is the point? Nigerian big men, big politicians in our country will always come under scrutiny. And some of it can be lousy, some of it can be unkind, some of it can be wicked. I've seen a lot of stuff that people write about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How many people can he sue? You know? How many people will he sue even if he has the resources?
That's right.
If at every time someone abuses you, you feel like going to court to teach that person a lesson, you are distracting yourself because you won't be focused on your primary goal. So I think Peter Obi should have
Body leave from there.
Yes, because it's going to be embarrassed at the end of the day.
Right. Right. Let me take some comment very quickly because of your time. This whole drama smells like a set. I mean, let me take some comments rather. Yeah, Chinwe Okonkwo says this whole drama smells like a setup to tarnish Peter Obi's name before 2027. The story keeps changing. First, no meeting, now a bribe. Sam Amadi's account sounds more believable. Obi should sue and clear his name. Abdul Musa says Deji Adeyanju has been fighting corrupt leaders for years, so why doubt him now? If he says Obi offered a bribe, I believe him. Obi's saint image is just a mask. Nobody's that clean in Nigeria's politics. For me, Adebayo says I'm disappointed in both men. Obi shouldn't be suing critics. It makes him look weak, and Deji's loud accusations without proof feel like clout chasing. They are both dragging Nigeria's politics backward. Emeka also says Peter Obi has a solid record, no corruption scandals as governor. Deji's claims Deji's claims sound like envy or someone's paying him to attack. And then Aisha Bello, let me quickly take this and ask my question. Deji's right to call out the obedience movement's toxicity. but he needs to bring receipts for this bribe story, or it's just noise. If Obi's lawsuit shuts him up, maybe he'll think twice next time. All right, so Bike, if you look at Deji Adeyanju, considering his legal background as a lawyer and his vow to defend his claims in court, including providing evidence of the meeting, how do you think his stance reinforces the idea that holding figures like Peter Obi accountable is essential for cleaning up Nigerian politics, regardless of backlash from supporters?
No, I think a lot of people are focusing on the bribe issue. He claimed that Obi tried to buy his loyalty. A lot of people are focusing on that, but it is it's much more than that. I think that if Adeyanju Adeyanju is taken to court to defend himself, he's going to say, "Oh, I called him a fraud because he took Anambra State's money to invest in the personal, in the
Bike, you are mute. You're muted. Please, could you unmute? Hello, Bike, can you unmute? Bike, can you hear me? You're muted. Can you unmute?
his strategy, because it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult to prove that indeed he offered a bribe. There are some things that you cannot prove, that you cannot bring evidence upon. But I know that he's going to be arguing that Obi does not have integrity. He's going to call to question his character. He's going to argue that he's not a person of unimpeachable character, and he's going to cite some of the things that we have talked about earlier. For example, his violation of Nigeria's tax and asset declaration laws by not declaring his assets stashed abroad, including those of his children. So his strategy will be clear. He cannot prove that indeed he was indeed offered money. He cannot prove that. He's not going to be able to bring evidence of that or a witness to that. But he can point at other things just to argue that, look, this person who is saying he has been libeled, he has been slandered, does not have integrity. So the matter of integrity and impeccable character would then dominate proceedings in the court. This is what happens most of the time in libel cases. As an editor of a tabloid and then editor of a news magazine, I was in the dock a number of times, sometimes traveling all the way to Akwa Ibom to defend our company in libel cases. And there was no one that I recall being involved in that we lost. And the lawyer's strategy is usually clear. The lawyer will stick to the matter of integrity, to continue to argue that this person does not have integrity. That would be the strategy. Because if he does not focus on that, he may not be able to defend other issues, that the people are complaining about. So at the end of the day, my own feeling is that this is an unnecessary case. We shouldn't have, we shouldn't go to court. He should just ignore this young man and focus more on his political career, focus more in how he can sell his ideas to the Nigerian people. It is the Nigerian people that matter. And once Nigerian people have made up their minds about you, they usually will stick with you. They will not, they know that nobody is perfect. They will not focus on your feelings. Obi has tremendous support amongst our people, especially the young people, the masses. So he should be more focused on those people, should be focused on those people and not distract himself with taking someone like Deji Adeyanju to court, because it's really unnecessary. He has more to lose than to win.
That's right. Aisha Bilo says Deji is right to call out the obedience movement. Okay, I think I've taken that. And Tunde Ogunleye says this fight is a distraction from Nigeria's real problems: hunger, insecurity, and bad governance. Obi and Deji are just playing ego games. Ngozi Eze says Deji's history of flipping sides makes me question his motives. He praised Obi in 2022. Now he's calling him a fraud. Sounds like someone settling scores or eyeing a payout. Obi's lawsuit is justified. Final take here. Ibrahim Danjuma says Obi's Yes Daddy audio already showed he's not above dirty politics. That his bribe claim fits that pattern. If Obi is so clean, why not ignore the noise instead of rushing to court? Guilty conscience. Okay, BKO, because of our time, we need to...
Activist Deji Adeyanju over a series of alleged defamatory publications circulated on social media. Now, acting through his solicitors, led by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Alex Ejiesime, Obi alleges that Adeyanju repeatedly made false and injurious statements about him in public discourse and on various online platforms. Obi is demanding an immediate public retraction of all such statements alongside an unreserved written apology. But former political editor with This Day newspaper and media advisor to the past national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ike Aboyin, has described as a lie the statement made by Adeyanju against Obi. Adeyanju had allegedly tweeted that Obi told him that he invested Anambra State funds into his family business and also offered him some monetary bribe. However, Aboyin, who said he was with Obi when he met Adeyanju, said the former governor never made such statement or offered any money. While joining us in the studio, I'm glad to have former political editor with This Day newspaper and media advisor to previous PDP national chairman, Ike Aboyin. He's also a political associate of Peter Obi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I mean, you've issued a statement trying to clarify what actually happened. I mean, can you reflect on that meeting between Peter Obi and Deji Adeyanju? And you have said that Deji had wanted a ticket for the Ahmad Buhari federal constituency to be given to him by the Labour Party. But of course, maybe because he didn't get that, that could have led to this kind of comments.
Well, I wouldn't want to go into insinuating from that angle. I was actually at the meeting, not only at the meeting, but I brokered it. When I was in PDP, I headed a media committee to revive PDP. And at that time, some of these activists were coming around, and Deji was among them. That was when I met Deji, and we cultivated a relationship. So immediately after Mr. Peter Obi got the Labour Party ticket in May 2022, the euphoria of that time, Deji was contemplating running for House of Representatives for Abuja. And I felt that the Labour Party needed somebody like him who is young and activist, popular, and all those things. And I discussed it with Obi. I said, look, we need somebody like this who can try to arouse the public. And arranged for us to meet. And three of us met in the night. And we discussed amicably. Obi, as usual, welcomed the meeting and explained his life, how he came into politics and what he has done and all those things. After explaining, Deji was also touched. He started his own story and talked about how the mother played huge impact on him and all that.
Yeah, the mother case that was filed against him.
No.
Or his own mother.
Mother.
Oh, okay. I thought
you understand?
No.
I didn't have a we didn't discuss any other thing except after Obi finished his story, Deji now told his own story. And at the end of the day, we left there. It was a long discussion and a very friendly discussion. Because before then, Deji was in the public space, various statements and all that, supporting that this is the best man for this job. So it was based on that the meeting was even brokered in the first place. And after the meeting, 4 weeks after, he issued a statement, tweeted that Obi told him in that meeting that invested government money in his family business.
That's the Anambra State government.
Yes, government money in his family business. I couldn't imagine whether it's the one I attended.
And you were there all through. Was there also any offer of monetary inducement?
I was there. Not only that I was there, also, I left there with Deji.
Interesting.
So when I saw that statement, my initial reaction was that could they have met without me?
Somewhere else, apart from that meeting.
You understand? Because the way he presented it was so assertive that it would be difficult for you to begin to doubt whether it's the one who participated. So I called Deji. I said, what happened? Did you meet with P2B in another place after I left or another place? He didn't give me any response. And I issued a statement 2022.
Yeah, I mean, I received that statement. Yes. We reported it. And you've just gone ahead to issue another statement. I mean, so, but what do you think would be the primary motive for Adeyanju's revelation? Because he says he's prepared to go to court if indeed Obi takes him to court and that he has evidence.
Well, I am curious because I will love to know, in terms of what may have prompted it, that will be going into Deji's mind, which I don't want to go. You understand? But I'm curious to see if this matter goes to court. Then let me see that. Because if it's something I was an outsider, then I was okay, maybe this happened, or you can never swear for anything. But for this one, I cannot imagine.
Well, maybe the lawyers will be reaching out to you to serve as a primary witness in the case.
No, but to me, this matter is a distraction to the project.
You think so?
Yes.
You think that...
Hello, fellow citizens of Nigeria. My name is Just Adeto. Who are you holding? Who you they hold? This era where we there now, it is era of hold somebody. Oh, somebody. Me, I don't owe Senator Eshiloku and I owe Jata. Part of our democratic benefits as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, whether you vote for LP, I've been a PDP, I've been a Showore you vote for, I've been a my papa you vote for, anybody where you vote for, hold whoever who is responsible. It is part of the rights and benefits of democracy. Meaning that a better Nigeria starts from you holding your local government chairman accountable, holding your House of Rep accountable, holding your senators accountable. When all of us hold them, they will hold the president. If they're not hold the president, we ourselves will go hold the president. Don't forget, your loyalty is to the national anthem, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest. You know, or any uncle, be any brother of your family with their politics loyalty. Now, I called out honorable member, say the man they call me comrade, Jata, Abina Ata, I'm sorry, I will get it, and Senator Eshiloku. They sent us details, full details, videos, documentations, bills that they've been proposing to pass, everything. They sent it, all the work they are doing. And we have also appointed some people to go and do check and balance, to be sure, say no be anybody might be lamba to be sure that truly and truly all those things are confirmable. Employment, even this week, Senator Eshiloku has sent invitation that they are sharing textbook for everybody in his country.
This is Eshiloku town hall meeting.
I'm sure that they are benefited because we have told the people town hall meeting is very important. These people are calling town hall, but now that we have known that they are calling town hall, please, you people should be putting it in your local constituency, on the buses, BRT, everything that is plying those areas. If you cannot use billboard, we want to be attending those local constituency. We are part of the government. We are Ajib. Any government in power must perform. Senator Jakai respond, yo. because me I don't go organize widow. I don't prep the man that I think say go do Dangbana Shoko for me. But Senator Honorable Japa, you are not doing well. You are trying. You are trying. You are trying because
when we don't have good health, we can't do anything.
But how can you say you are sharing rice only in December? If you want to share rice monthly or weekly. 5 kilo or 10 kilo bag cannot, never, ever sustain anybody for 1 month in this country. So if you want to share rice, sir, please make it monthly or weekly. Now, all of you in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, hold one senator accountable, hold one House of Rep accountable, hold one local government chairman accountable. Whether it is PDP, APC is not the issue. The issue is it is part of your rights. It is part of your right to hold your political office holders accountable. Now, when they no respond, we go drag their mama and their papa. But once they respond, let us also follow up and encourage them, because a better Nigeria, this Nigeria where we don't sure say go better, it starts from me and you. See, don't look, no go kill our country. It no concern me, no go call our country. I don't tell you now. Every pie na pie. Every pie na pie. If pie no meet you for house, if he meet you for poverty, if he meet you for hospital, if he meet you for kidnapper's hand. So please, let us start to hold our public office holders accountable, responsive to us. And that politician, any politician where they call, when you do agidi, let me just warn you ahead of time. I hear it budget. Because my papa, I don't talk, say they don't give una money. If to say my papa, I know say they don't give una money, we go they wait. We go they drag papa. Tinubu said he has given all local government chairman money. Dangote self don't talk. He don't help president do bebon. He said of you should go and hold the governors accountable. So we are holding them accountable. So any governor, any senator, any House of Rep, if you see us call your name, please, and don't let them come and report you. Emma don't beg you what this constituency is not good at all. We know they take common eye do. So please, if you know that you are a non-functional senator, governor, House of Rep, House of Assembly, local government chairman, go and buckle your efforts. Me, I see say Speaker of Lagos State, they don't do orientation for the newly elected local government chairman. Make una hear wetin speaker tell una, and make una open eye that we are also watching. Eyes are on the boss. This Nigeria belongs to all of us. It does not belong to any party or any family. It belongs to all of us. So anybody that is having a sense of ownership, just know that Senator Check and Balance, our Jeep party, we are up and we are looking and we are watching. So please, everybody should stand up and rise up to their responsibility. A greater Nigeria.
Keep something there. Thank you, Sheni. I don't put my DND. Thank you, Jare Sheni. Yeah, waiting government they do say waiting be their job. The job of our government is to falsify consciousness. The underlying job of all African regimes is to falsify your consciousness. You understand? To move you away from your reality into the reality of your oppressor. So once your consciousness has been falsified, once you think, because that is it, everybody, you all think you are what you are not. Because they don't make them in such a way to say if you actually see yourself, you have to do something about yourself. And many of us don't want to do anything about ourselves, you know. So I will break them down today in so many ways, you know, like that's why we think it is okay as Nigerians. They suffer. We like the same things our oppressors like. We like the same, we go to the same places our oppressors, like the place where they go. Now we say one, like this way they lie. Now we say lie. The way we they dance. Now we say they dance. Then I'll give you an example. As long as all Nigerian people believe, say, private school is better than public school, then the government can ignore public school. The only reason Nigerian government can comfortably ignore our public school is that they have convinced everybody that private school is better than public school. So in your brain, you don't even think that public school, it can be better than private school or anything public. Your own is that, let me just work hard to put my child in private school. Let me put my child in private school. So far I can put my child in private school. You understand? So once you believe that private school is better than public school, then the government can comfortably ignore public school while private school is their business. So me I break them down for in general, waiting our government job be for Nigeria. And why many of now don't know what to do, because they don't put now in the position of supporting them without knowing you're already supporting them. That's why we all fight for the wrong things. We're all against the wrong people, standing in the wrong side, supporting the wrong people, dividing ourselves among our enemies. You know, somebody say, where school my child go? My child is going to probably the most expensive school in Nigeria, in Ikeja. It's not even in the whole Nigeria. The school is so expensive. My God. My child is going to a very expensive school. What do you want me to do? But I still know that public school is better than private school. You understand me? It doesn't mean that I believe that we should abandon our public education. And I'll tell you why where my child is going to school should not concern you. You know why? Because I am successful. I am very successful. Probably, even though public school will work in Nigeria, my child might probably not still go to a public school. That's what I try to tell you. I am a successful person in my endeavors. See, this is what I'm telling you, that your consciousness has been falsified. I did explain something to you, automatically you are putting yourself in my place. You are comparing yourself to me immediately. Me that I'm a successful man. The only difference between me and your other successful men is that I'm not using my success to betray you. I'm not trying to betray you, deceive you, con you, be in your pocket without you knowing. You understand? It doesn't mean that we have to do the same thing. You know me, say we go do the same thing in this life, at least for this level where me I did. My child cannot be in public school, because even if the public school was working perfectly, my child might probably still not go to a public school for many reasons. You understand what I'm saying to you? Now you, we don't they locked in the system of public, now they advise. Now they try to fight for, so that your own child education, even though my child is going to a private school for whatever reason, it will not be an advantage. That private school don't will give my child any advantage over your own child we will do for public school. In Europe and America, as much as their public school is working, many of their successful people take their children to private school for a different reason. And that reason is privacy. Because, you know, you are famous, your children are targets in society, picture taking, kidnapping. Your children might not be safe in a public school setting where anybody can just go. People take their children to private schools for very many different reasons in this world. It is not necessarily the educational standard that makes them take their children to those places. In a country like Finland, for example, there's no private school that is better than the public school system there, even though they are private schools. But anyway, that's just a lesson for you. You know, this system that we operate in, the neglect of the public system in our country, is now be the job of our government. Gone. The question that should be asked is not of those private individuals who have made successes of themselves and what they want to do with where they send their children. This question must be posed, is a legitimate question posed wrongly. The question of where your child they go school, they tell me about public, private, is a question that must be posed to those in charge of the public service system. Those in charge of public service system, those that will provide, that are in charge of the public service system, must be the ones to engage that service system in a way to show us that it is working. To show us their own working, they must be the ones using it the most. So, waiting our government they do. I will talk briefly on just little things we as people know say every society needs. Housing. Let's speak about the first thing any adult need. The most important thing for any adult in this world is a shelter where you lay your head, where will protect you from the elements. You know, the first thing is shelter. The Nigerian government has abandoned our shelter completely to the private sector. They don't give themselves land up and down the place to build different estates that people cannot afford. Homelessness has spread all over the land. Homelessness up and down the place. Nobody with anywhere that the government can allocate to us as citizens. And for our presence, our government, they tell us they don't fit build public housing. There's no money in our country. The government, they make us understand that there's no money in our country. So what's in the government work for Nigeria? I won't show na their work, because people feel say government no get work. Me, I know their work, you know. And the first one is to confuse you, like many people here. I don't show that. As soon as I say, they say, where your pikin they go school? Like that is the wildest question. Am I a politician? Have I ever been in charge of Nigerian educational system? I don't know. But the government has abandoned the entirety of our shelter to private individuals. Many of these our politicians are also this same person. If the person was if government and real estate was one person, the person in government, he might be the real estate agent. The person in government is also the real estate agent. The amount of real estate our politicians control in Nigeria. Now see how many houses they seize for only Emefiele, one estate, only Emefiele, only him alone. And that the one way they just announce. I guarantee you, that the one they just announce. Now the one they just announce. Real estate all over the world. I still see, I don't want to mention them, but I still see one of our politicians picking. Now the same apartment that they stay with my wife and daughter for London when I go see them. The place where we rent house for summer. Now the same place he said they stay. Now our eye jam. The way I give them me mugging. To see now when I still be bad boys for London. Whoa. Just be say, I cannot even talk. I cannot even talk too much. Anyway, they have houses. If they say government na person, one person is government, and real estate agent says na one person, is the same person. The amount of real estate they control, the amount of real estate this control. We for fight. See, just be say you don't say London now. Everywhere camera. And if I do any now, those ones don't go hear my explanations. No. I'm fighting him because of what they are doing in our country. They will give me, no, sir, you're under arrest for assault, grievous bodily harm. They will code their own law for me. Then they will take arrest me. They don't go here say, no, I'm revenging for Nigerians. They don't go, what, yeah. They don't go, yeah. Camera everywhere. So don't worry. I just maintain my champion. You know, everywhere. So therefore, the job of government has become to make sure that government doesn't build house for the people. You understand the game now? These government officials, these politicians control everything in real estate to the extent that it is now their job in government to make sure that government does not government. You understand? The job of our government is to make sure that government does not government. Not that government must not govern. No, they govern. Don't mistake govern. They govern. They have police ready to beat you, arrest you, lock you up. All those governing side. But government, they make sure the government doesn't government. The job of our government is to make sure that government doesn't government. You know, if you're talking for English, make it sound well. You see, the job of this government is to make sure government no government. The job of this government is to make sure say government no government. So because of their interest, their personal individual interest in the housing sector, it has become life and death job for them to make sure that the Ministry of Housing, the Ministry of Works, Housing, before they get the Ministry of Housing don't collapse into, before they get their own ministry. I don't think it exists anymore. It don't collapse into works. You know, they don't care about it. It's a zero care. Nobody gives a fuck. You know, so they go into that position to deprive us of public housing. Place allocations. One of the good example, which is that place for Lagos. If you just the corner from bridge, they don't turn out to private now. Before, when they claim the land, supposed to be public housing, you don't want to private business. Yes, nobody gives a damn about providing what the constitution. I say in our constitution is in the constitution. That's why they tell people say anybody saying they go do constitutional reform, they want all this thing is nonsense. Anything we want to do, no constitution in this world is perfect. No constitution. That's why American Constitution get how many amendments? Amendment left, right, and center. You do it as you go. But in terms of us developing as a nation, this our constitution is ready to develop Nigeria. Nobody cares about that part. In fact, our government, as they say they make mistake. Nigerian government say they make mistake. All these politicians, they say they make mistake for constitution. They wrong. Go create new amendments inside. Say, we cannot, all the things with that chapter 2 of the constitution say they're supposed to do. Nobody has the right to sue the government for not doing it. I swear. In the chapter 6. Yes, I'm sure that chapter 6, if I remember correct. In the chapter 6, they go chapter 6, they create their own chapter, say you cannot fight for chapter 2. You cannot sue any government for not doing their job because the constitution say make they do the job. So they wrong, go do another amendment, say nobody can sue them for not doing the job. So what kind of government goes to put that kind of thing that nobody should sue me for not doing my job? What kind of mind? Quickly, you are in the country that needs you to do that job, but you quickly go say make nobody ask you to do the job. That mindset, you understand now, explains so many things. Explain why somebody go there for Nigeria, they tell you say he's the richest African, richest black man in the world. What kind of person is striving to have more money than all the black people in the world, but is not striving to develop his country? He's not striving to make his country the best black country in the world in his lifetime. This same man, he don't join people after this in latest atrocities. Now all of them don't call know him as atrocity. I'll stop mentioning his name, because there's no need to mention his name again. I don't shout, and no one hear me. Ancestors don't shout, enter on our ear. Say una richest African man is his name is atrocity. Atrocity. That's his name. Atrocity upon atrocity upon atrocity. What kind of human being is fighting and doing his life, rushing? All your celebrities, what kind of people are they that they are interested more going to buy everything in the world than what is going on in our, making us, some of them will even talk, say, to fight for Nigerian people, to build our country, to fight for Nigeria is stupid. What kind of
Nothing wey we no go hear o, my people. Make una come chook mouth put inside this matter wey dey for ground. Wetin be una take on top of this our politicians wey we get now, and people wey dey drag the APC government, dey drag PDP, dey drag Labour Party, all put together just to prove a point. Make una come make we interact. I still remain your humble girl Keys. I'm going to bring una later. See you guys in my next upload. Bye for now.